Good morning and welcome to my moment of reflection for the week. And this week we're talking about mothers and how awesome they are. I started doing these tips about 5 years ago, really. I was quite a bad place. My father had died. And I would sometimes see a quote or a lovely picture or a lovely photograph and just make a bit of a step back and actually reflect on my life and actually how lucky I was. Things actually weren't that bad. And over time I started to use those photographs and those quotes and put them into an email, more to help me originally, but actually now it helps other people too. And that's now developed into these videos. So I really hope you enjoy a moment of reflection today, and I really hope it helps you. If it helps you or you know somebody who would help, then please do share it with them. So this week's quote is, if at first you don't succeed, do it like your mother told you. Now last Sunday was Mother's Day, and Mother's Day is very interesting. It's very different in the States as to in England. In England, it's actually got very different background. And Mother's Day started when, in the Victorian times, there were lots and lots of staff working in the big houses, big state homes around the UK, around England. And every year they were given one day off. And that day off was to go back to their mother church, where they'd been brought up and baptised, because they still had to be a member of the congregation there. They had to turn up once a year. So go back to their mother church, and at the same time, they'd visit their mothers and take them a small gift. And that developed into Mothering Sunday or Mother's Day as it is now. In the States, it was very different. It was much more about celebrating mothers themselves, had nothing to do with the church. And that's sort of come over here now a bit more. But the two had very, very different origins. But I think there's something that we, once a year, every one day a year, we actually celebrate what our mothers do for us. But I want to take a little bit deeper today and actually look at three qualities which I think we don't really think that much about when it comes to mothers. And the first one is unconditional love. I really did not understand unconditional love in the sense of mother until I had my own children. I certainly didn't understand it from my mother at all. And I think it's the only place in the world that you really get it. Normally there's conditions attached everywhere else if you think about it deeply. But with a mother, that's absolutely not the case, and they will do anything for their children. And to illustrate just how far somebody will go for children, and perhaps other people's children as well, Irene Sendler, you may not have heard of, she was around the Second World War, lived in Poland, in Warsaw, and she rescued about 2,500 children, Jewish children, from the Warsaw Ghetto. And what she did was she gave them false identities, gave them non-Jewish identities, and then placed them with non-Jewish families. And over quite a few period of years, she rescued about 2,500 children. The Gestapo eventually caught up with her. She was tortured very severely, and she was due to be executed. But actually, the Gestapo were bribed, and she survived remarkably. And in 2003, she was awarded the White Eagle Star, I think it was, by Poland for the work that she has done. But can you imagine the work and what went into actually rescuing those 2,500 children during the Second World War? Quite remarkable. The second one I think we don't really quite appreciate until we're a mother ourselves is that of awesome research, as I would call it. If your child is ill in any way, shape or form, you will do anything, find out anything, research anything, go anywhere, spend anything you possibly can to make your child better. And I'm not going to mention any names here, but I do know quite a few people who have very, very ill children, and I really sympathise with them. But what I'm so impressed by is that they will go to any length possible to find a cure. And that's quite remarkable. And again, I don't think you'd see that elsewhere in the world in the same way. And the third quality that I really want to talk about today was coming back to the quote, really, if at first you don't succeed, do it like your mother told you. And that is wisdom. And I think men and women lead quite different lives in the sense that men leave school, they go to work, they work, although they get married and have a family, their real focus is actually on the job and earning money for the household, and then they retire. So they tend to have a sort of direct route through life, if you like. Women are quite different. We leave school, normally go to work, but then we might get married, then we might have children. And all of those are actually quite different in outlook, in context. And as a result of having a very different course through life, which can take lots more twists and turns, I think we gain a lot more wisdom along the way because we've seen more, we have a slightly broader perspective on life rather than it's just all being about work. And therefore, when it comes to teaching your children, that wisdom is really important. And I have to say, I didn't really listen to my mother when I was younger. I was much more of a daddy's girl and worshipped my father. My mother didn't get on with me particularly well. I think looking back, actually, I should have listened an awful lot more to what she said. But that wisdom is really important to pass on to your children. And if you have a child who listens and wants to know and genuinely learn from you, it is the most rewarding thing in the world. It's absolutely marvellous. So the wisdom that mothers can gain and can pass on to their children is really, really important. I think we need to credit them with that. So I hope you enjoyed my moment of reflection for the week. If we haven't met yet, my name is Mandy Cran, and people come to me when they realise they need to make changes in their life if they want to have better health and quality family time in the years ahead. And I talk to a lot of people in the corporate world. I'm ex-corporate myself, and a lot of them are getting increasingly fed up with the corporate world. It's long hours, long commuting, short holidays, never being appreciated for the work that you do, never being rewarded financially for the work that you do. And they get to the point of saying, actually, I'm fed up, and actually I want to take control of my life again, do what I want to do and earn what I want to earn, and earn what I'm worth. So if that connects with you and you would like to talk further, then contact me, either message me through Facebook or email me at Mandy, with an IE, at the Buzz Group Be More. And next week, I'll be here back on Facebook Live at 10 o'clock. I'm going to be talking about rivers. So do join me then. And in the meantime, have a great week.